Hi everyone, Brendan Maher here, Tipperary Senior Hurler, and you're all welcome to my Gosh Energy Rewards hurling skills video. What we're going to do today is I'm going to set you a skills challenge which will incorporate a number of skills. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through 3 skills that we can practice before we go and attempt the skills challenge. So the first skill that we're going to practice is hand passing. So we're going to practice hand passing. My dominant hand is my right hand, so that's the hurley that's on, or the hand that's on the hurley most of the time, and I hand pass with my left hand most of the time. But in games, it's important that you're able to use both hands. And obviously we have a rule where we have to be able to transfer the hurley to the other hand to hand pass with our opposite hand, not drop it because you'll give away a free. So we're going to practice doing that, because in games sometimes if you're soloing with a ball and the person that you want to hand pass to is maybe even a little bit behind you to your left hand side, you're not going to be able to turn, and it's a big movement to try and hand pass. So what we want to do is we want to practice that we can hand pass straight off the hurley, or if it's in our hand and we see someone, we can hand pass across with our right hand in as well. Okay, so this is something that I use and every player uses in games all the time. You know, you'll see people hand passing different ways, in different ways, even using the back of their hand, because in certain situations you won't have time or you won't be able to turn the certain way that you want. So you have to be able to use both hands in both directions. Okay, so I have set up 2 cones and I have a wall here, so you can set this up at the gable end of your house, a wall out in your yard, wherever sets, whatever works for you. You don't need cones. You could use a slitter and just leave it down. You could leave down another hurley, a piece of footwear, whatever you have, it doesn't matter, as long as you mark out 2 cones here. One is about 2 steps, 2 big steps. Alright, so 1, 2, that's the first cone, and we're going to use this for our hand passing. And the other one is 5 steps out. So this is 2 steps, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to use that for the next part, which is going to be striking. So for our hand passing, all we're going to do starting off is we're also going to do 10 hand passes off the wall, keeping the hurley in our right hand and using our non-dominant hand, or catching hand. Okay, so the thing with hand passes is to make sure it comes from the hip, and that we're not using this part of our hand, we're using almost like our fingers, okay, the base of our fingers, and that gives you more control, right? So I'm going to do 10 here, just watch what my hands are doing. We're aiming head height. 2, on the toes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's the first part. Then when we're moving on to the other hand, we're going to be transferring, right? So when we're carrying the ball, for soloing, the ball is going to be in our left hand, but we want to hand pass with our right. So what we have to do is we need to pop the ball up, transfer the hurley across, and then use our right hand. Okay, when it comes back off the wall, you can catch with your right again and switch it back, or what I'm going to do is after I hand pass, I'm going to switch back again and I'm going to catch with my proper hand. So I'll show you once. So across and catch. Okay, so switch, hand pass and catch. Right, so the hurley goes across my left hand, then back to my right hand. I'm going to do 10 of those. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so if I'm doing practice like this, typically I do maybe 3 times 10 hand passes on my left by 3, then I go off the right hand 3 times 10 hand passes. Okay, so that's something you can try at home, and that will help our overall challenge, which I'll show you at the end towards the end of this video. The second skill then that we're going to practice, and for this one we're actually going to stay close to the first cone again. We're going to work on our first touch. Alright, so first touch is vitally important in the game of hurling, because it's the main way that we gain possession. Catching and then first touch with our hurley. Okay, so to start in the most basic form to work on your first touch, the things you need to think about is moving your feet that you end up with your body behind the ball. I'm sure you've heard that lots of times. Alright, so to get your body behind the ball obviously requires foot movement, right? And just to start off, all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the ball off the wall, and I'm going to try and get the ball back into my hand with 1 touch on the hurley up into the hand. Right, so I'm going to throw it quite low and quite firm off the wall. Oh. 1 touch into the hand, okay? and we're going to do 10 of these again, all right? So I'm going to try do 10 nice and quick, just throw in my left hand, one touch into the hand, and then we'll progress on, okay? Off we go. There's 1. See, I'm getting my body behind the ball. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 touches for the last time. Okay, so it's actually good to challenge yourself where don't throw the ball straight at the wall all the time. You could actually throw it a little bit to the right, which means you need to go to the right, get your body behind the ball, and work on your first touch that way. All right, that's the start of it. Okay, so again, 10 throws off the wall, first touch into the hand. Then we can move on to a strike. All right, so we can strike it off the wall, 1 touch into the hand, and we do 10 of them as well. All right. Okay, what this is going to lead on to is the third part of the challenge, which is striking off left and right. All right, so I'm going to incorporate the first touch into our last skill, into our third skill, which is striking off left and right. Okay, so really, really important that we're able to strike off both sides. In all the scores I've got with Tipperary, I would say that minimum 50% of those scores have been off my left hand side, which is supposedly my weaker side, my non-dominant side. Even in the match, I remember a match against Cork last year down in Portagreve, I got 2 points that were both off my left hand side, because just the way the movement ended up, I was coming off, it just made sense to strike off my left. I hadn't time to stop and turn onto my right hand side, and that's something we need to be able to get good at. Certain times in a match, you'll end up that you have no choice but you have to strike off your weaker side. So it's important that we work on that. So all we're going to do in here is we're going to use the cone or the marker that's set up 5 steps out from the wall, and we're just going to practice moving left and right of that cone. We're going to practice off the left, back around, and off the right, okay? And this is going to bring in our first touch as well. If you want to challenge yourself even more, you can strike the ball up a little bit higher and you can bring it into a catch, okay? I'm going to do a mixture of both. All right, so I'm just going to do 10 strikes, 5 off the left, 5 off the right, okay? So we're striking off the right, I'm going to step to the right of the cone, collect, then when we're striking off the left, I come around to this side, off the left, collect, back around. All right, so we're bringing a bit of foot movement into it as well. All right, so I'm going to start here on the right. There we go. Okay, so foot movement is really important. Always moving, striking off the left and right, 5 each side, and you can do that 3 times as well. All right. Now, so what have we done? We've practiced our hand passing, left hand and right hand. We've practiced our first touch, just throwing off the wall, taking a touch, moving our feet, and we brought that into our third skill, which is striking off right and left, and you're bringing your first touch into that as well. So what is the challenge? So the challenge is we start on the outside cone, okay? We're going to strike off left and right, okay? Then we're going to move in and we're going to do a hand pass off left and right. Then we reverse back out, strike off left and right, back in. We're going to do 3 of each and we're going to time it and see how quickly you can do it, okay? So I'm going to have a go at it here and I'm going to see what my time is like. And you can see then if you can beat my time, and hopefully you'll do that. If I make a mistake here, this is live, so I have to just deal with it, okay? So, right strike, left strike. If it comes low, you have to use your first touch. That's why that skill is important. Obviously, if you can strike it straight to hand, that's the ideal. That's what we want, all right? So right hand strike, move in, left hand pass, right hand pass, back out. And it's 3 of each, okay? So I'm going to have a go at it. We'll see how it'll get on. There's 1. There's 2. and 3. 22 seconds, I think. If you're watching the video, you'll probably see the time as well. 22, 23 seconds. That's the time it took me to do 3 left and right out here, and 3 left and right inside of the inside corner. So, if you want to see more videos like this, simply just log into the Camogie Energy Rewards site next Wednesday, and you'll see more important skills and important movements to learn from myself. See you then.